Welcome to this edition of Studio Offshore Energy, the webinar series of TKI Offshore Energy. And this time it is about robotizing offshore wind, a subject that's very important to us, and I'll explain later on why. And during this webinar, you will hear the background of why robotization is so important, but also the availability of innovation subsidy for this important theme. We have made 250,000 euro in innovation subsidy available for innovation projects that can work together with two key field labs in the Netherlands from TU Delft, RoboHouse and XL. You'll hear much more about that later on. So we'll start with a short presentation from about this background. If you can start the presentation. There it is. Can we get it in presentation mode? Jolien, is it possible to have it in full screen?
Well, but it's full screen for me.
Okay, sorry.
I think it's just for you as a presenter.
I'm looking at, okay, so thanks for that, Nadine. Yeah, we're looking at scaling up offshore wind to large numbers. There are variations in the policy, but still anything that we're looking at for the years 2040 and 50 is going to be very big. And this poses us for a couple of important challenges. Challenges around, for example, how to finance this, the cost of offshore wind, but also safety, safe working, ecology, available space. And if you now look at robotization, this is really a solution to many of these challenges that we face. For example, safe working, robotization will help for that. If you look at, say, the shortage of human capital working in installation, but also in maintenance, robotization is also a solution for this. But robotization can also lower cost and increase efficiency. So we really see this as the, say, the Swiss Army knife for many of these challenges. So this is why we feel it's so important. We work together with other organizations like Maritime and Offshore NL and Innovation Quarter to really put this subject on the agenda everywhere. So you'll hear more about this cooperation around what we call the front runner or the koploper project for robotizing offshore wind in other settings. About this call, so the question is, do you have innovative ideas, or are you developing maybe products to robotize offshore wind in any way or form? And are you interested to work together with very smart facilities and expert know-how to further develop your product? Then this Energy Innovation NL subsidy challenge may be for you. So as I mentioned in the beginning, there is 250,000 euro in PPP innovation subsidy available for working together with these field labs, XL and RoboHouse. So what follows now are presentations about these field lab facilities, what you can expect there, and we'll end up during this webinar with information about the challenge. So how you can compete for this 250,000 euro subsidy, and also the conditions associated with that subsidy. So I'd now like to hand over first to I think it's Joris Koopman who will start off with, or is it Neline?
I'll kick it off.
Okay, Neline Molenaar. Yeah, the floor is yours.
Good. So great to have you all here. My name is Neline Molenaar. I'm working at RoboHouse doing business development, and together with Joris, I'll be introducing the Delft Field Labs for this call to you. So working with RoboHouse and XL. So we are both located in Delft. One all the way near the highway if you pass by the 813 RoboHouse, and the other located right on the water for whoever's on a boat somewhere. So we are Field Labs of Delft University of Technology, which means that we look especially at bringing technology into society, translating things from fundamental research to be applicable to companies and to commercialization at a later stage. So that's in very top line essence what we do. I'll introduce. I think we have a very short movie to bring that to you, and then I'll introduce RoboHouse in a little bit more detail to you. I'll pause the movie here because we also have another great field lab, which is the Green Village. That one's not as relevant for this call today. So that's a bit of a visual introduction to XL and RoboHouse, but in a little bit more detail. So with RoboHouse, we're really at the center of lots of things robotics in Delft. We have moved last year to the facility that you see here, the round building next to the A13, and we're here together with multiple field labs with Monday House of AI and Do IoT. So really looking for the connection between robotics, connectivity, and AI, because there's so much development in that space going on. We work together with TNO as well. They're with us in the building, and we link out to both SMEs and multinationals to tackle a diversity of problems that we see for companies and society. So what we are out to realize is robotics for a better society, and why is basically across headlines that you see today. There's labor shortage related to aging populations, but also decreasing demographics. And what you see in general is that heavy work, dirty work, dangerous work is the work that is least sought after by our population in general in these situations. So these are things that we really look to tackle, like how can you alleviate the work that people don't want to do anymore that is still necessary? Or how can you make heavy work that is really essential lighter to make it more pleasurable for those involved? So what we focus on is supporting physically heavy work or dangerous work or, dirty work, basically. We always look for solutions that are technologically innovative. So if there's a solution in the market, we don't tend to touch it. If it's something new that we don't have a solution for, that's where we bite into. And what we typically do is look at emerging technology in the university, in research streams, to see how that can be find application, or use our knowledge to look at solutions from different sectors and translate them to others, and see what adaptations or what technology changes are needed there. We work from the human factor as a starting point. So the role of a human in a process is always essential for us. That's what we dive into and see how can we actually improve it for the people involved. And our main focus is in the Netherlands, where we look to engage with many around us to form a vibrant ecosystem. So just a few examples, very top line to give you a little bit of flavor. We're currently working on a project with energy companies, Alliander and Nexus, and they came to us saying, well, look, we need to accelerate accelerating the energy transition. There is a lot of work that is needed over there. They need to change cables in lots of places, new facilities, but also existing structures. And they basically came to us, well, we need to make a change here because we're not going to make it with the people that we have. And the opportunity that was identified here is to look for robotisation in the removal of old cables that are in the ground. It's heavy work, it's dirty work. People are really in these ditches pulling at these cables, and it's something that breaks people up. So our team went into the field to really look into, well, how does this work happen? What are the use scenarios? And where can we bring value there? Looked into the use cases and the requirements are there. Started into brainstorms to sort of conceptualize how can you bring solutions here, and then we go over to experimentation. And at the first stages, those can be incredibly simple, but really addressing the toughest challenges in the use case. And where we are today is that we are developing a robotized end effector for on a digger, and it's going into representative tests. So really from the start of identifying the problem to getting that robotic solution, which is relevant for the situation. And people involved say, well, look, if we implement this, it means that I can have my people in the field for 10 years, for an additional 10 years, because they're not breaking their backs doing the work. So that's the kind of impact and the better society aspect that we're looking for. How we are set up, we have a multitude of facilities. We have a test center here. Where we have a diversity of robot arms. We work together with the robots, so our robots are in open plots. We work on them through our workshop and prototyping facilities in the makerspace we have here, and also connecting robotics to different fields. So I say connectivity, AI, VR, AR, etc., etc. And our team is built up of different expertise, different knowledge bases. So we have design research experts, but also robotics experts in our team, and we bring those together to really have a human-centered robotics approach, where the analysis of the opportunities is key, and then bridging that to mechanical and software expertise, to cognitive robotics, to AI integration, and really that prototyping capability. And we do that together with a network of experts that we have over here. So that is RoboHouse in a nutshell, and this is where I hand over to Joris.
Yes, thank you very much, Neline. So my name is Joris. I work for SumXL as a business developer, but also 1 day a week at RoboHouse. So that also shows that we collaborate in more projects and on more things. But I will represent SumXL today. So SumXL stands for Smart Advanced Manufacturing, XL. And so that means that really the XL products out there with a history starting from aerospace, but now also looking at wind, maritime and civil engineering and defense applications. That is the focus of our field lab. And within these sectors, our goal is to make the manufacturing smarter and to develop new manufacturing processes. So SumXL is we have about a 2,000 square meter facility, full with manufacturing automation, expertise and facilities. And at SumXL, our mission is really to strengthen the European XL manufacturing industries. So what we do is in support of this. We see also, of course, that especially with manufacturing, you deal with very complex supply chains, and we cannot do everything within the Netherlands. So we have this European focus, but at the same time, of course, we want to improve that situation for the Netherlands, which is why we are here today. So the core expertise of SumXL is really on the development of innovative manufacturing processes. And an example of something that you also run into with XL products that are also complex is the CAD to reality gap. So this is typically something that you see where tolerances scale up with the part size. For small, well, let's say small products, maybe like automotive, we can still have robots doing exactly the same thing repetitively without any closed loop control, just repeating the same action. For these large parts, the tolerances mean that you have to actually adapt to the real situation, because when you're welding a ship, for instance, two metal panels are never side by side exactly in the same way. So you need some human intelligence, some smartness there to bridge these gaps when you are welding. And that smartness, bringing that into robotics, that's how we refer to with the CAD to reality gap, and the related to that, the adaptive path and motion planning. Now, what we are also really used to, that's our base way of working, is collaborating with partners. So within the facility that we have, this is also typically a ground where many partners can come together and work on projects. And these partners are from industry, but also on the other side, of course, with TU Delft researchers that we connect to for the relevant challenges. So an example project from SumXL, one of our previous flagship projects, is the Stunning project. And the goal of the Stunning project was to, on the one side, introduce a new type of material for aerospace manufacturing that would enable a weight reduction in itself, but also this new material, namely thermoplastic composite. This would enable a new manufacturing approach. So instead of very complex autoclave processes and a lot of drilling holes and still using mechanical fasteners, we looked at welding the whole structure together, which is also more suitable for automation. So that also goes to show in manufacturing, the process, the material, and the design of the product, that all goes really hand in hand, and developing these new manufacturing concepts really requires an integral approach. So with this, next slide. With this project, also in collaboration with many partners, we really showed that the aircraft industry can automate, which is historically a very manual heavy industry. And the demonstrator that was created, this A320 Airbus fuselage section of 8 meters, this is now standing within the Airbus facility as a demo to also show their engineers the possibilities with this new material. And we are considering how we can adopt this more for the next generation of aircraft. So on the SumXL side, an overview of the facilities and the expertise. So yeah, one of the differentiators between RoboHouse and SumXL is also the size of the robots. And that also means that our robots are typically confined in these cages because they can be a bit dangerous to work around, with payloads ranging from 5 to 450 kilograms. There's also some mobile platforms, particularly for inspection, because we see that with these very large products, we sometimes need the robot to move to the product instead of the product being brought to the robot. Some processes that we are developing in-house are automated fiber placement, continuous ultrasonic welding, and automated non-destructive testing. We have a laser tracker, which is aimed at increasing the accuracy of all our robots, a composite cutting table, Spot, the robot dog from Boston Dynamics. And then we also use a lot of mechanical test benches and other facilities from across the road from the TU Delft aerospace faculty. So the expertise is really in these high accuracy XL robotics, also bringing in there the smartness with the software engineering, as well as developing these new manufacturing and assembly processes. And I think it's also important to say that since SumXL was founded about 8 years ago, the focus has really been on aerospace. But since a couple of years, we've seen that actually this expertise and these problems like the CAD to reality gap, they exist in adjacent sectors. So wind, maritime, civil, these are all sectors that also deal with these kind of challenges. And that's why we decided as SumXL to branch out to these adjacent sectors and to also bring our expertise to there. And I think this PPS call would also be a really good opportunity to do so. I think that will round it off for the SumXL part. So then I would also like to hand it back.
Yeah, thank you very much, Joris and Eline, for, I would say, inspiring presentation. So what we've seen is why robotics are important for offshore wind developments, but also how you can effectively develop your products at these important field lab facilities of RoboHouse and SumXL. And when we say it's important for offshore energy, what we really mean it's not just in transport or installation where we envisage more robotisation, but it's also in maintenance activities and manufacturing, as we could have also seen from the SumXL presentation. So all these elements, I would say, are eligible for robotisation. So what we're looking for now is, and I'll switch to the next slide. This is more the, I would say, administrative side of development and innovation. These are the rules of the subsidy. There's in the chat a message from my colleague Jolene about where you can find this information on our website. So that's an important place to go to if you're interested in this subsidy challenge. What's important to mention is these subsidies are always meant for cooperative research and development. And the corporation in this case could be yourself with an innovative new product or a product idea. And on the other hand, the TU Delft field labs, SumXL and RoboHouse. So the corporation is shaped by this type of consortium. The subsidy can be granted to Dutch organizations, at least organizations that have economic activities in the Netherlands, and they must pass the OIM test, Organisatie in Moeilijkheden, Onderneming in Moeilijkheden test, on the RVO site, on the RVO website. What type of cost can be subsidized? Well, that could be basically anything that contributes to the research and development activities. So these could be cost of personnel. It could also be cost of materials that are being used, and also, for example, cost of using field lab facilities. There are specific research categories where you see on the right-hand side of the slide, you can see the subsidy percentages. Now, fundamental research, that is not, I would say, applicable here. But if you look at industrial research or experimental development, and you can see the definitions of those also on the website, you can either get 50% or 25% of your cost subsidized. It's a bit different for the research facilities themselves because they would have what we call non-economic activities, and the subsidy percentage there could be 80%. How to apply for this subsidy? Well, it all starts with contacting us. There's an email address here, and you have to register with us to receive a project ID form. And this is where it all starts with. So if you're interested, go to the website or send us an email to this address and request this project ID form. The next step is that you will send in your project ID before or not later than the 3rd of August. It's important to be before that deadline, but it's also important maybe to already get in touch with us or with the field labs about your project ID and about the potential fit for this. Now, what happens after that date is there will be a feasibility check and evaluation of the various ideas that we get. And eventually, there will be a winner selected before the 31st of August. Now, this is not the moment that you will receive the subsidy because there is still a formal process to be followed. The project ID form is a relatively light description of your project idea, about the potential budget that you're looking at, etc., and how you want to cooperate with the field labs and maybe with other partners as well. But what we require in the end is that the winner completes a full project proposal, working together with the TU Delft field labs, some XL and RoboHouse, to complete that. And this will still have to be, approved by our evaluation committee. And this is then when the project can start. It has to start still this year, and it has to be finished before the end of 2028. So basically, you have 2 years to complete the project. So these are the procedures, and again, you can go to the website and find more information there. You can also immediately send us an email if you already know that you're interested in this, and the email address is here. This is where I would like to leave it with. There is maybe time for one question, if there's a question from the audience. I'm looking at the chat if there would be.
Well, there's actually something I would like to add still.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Joris.
Because I can realize, like, maybe we presented 2 field labs today, and I think it's important to still stress that the project ideas can be focused between 1 field lab and 1 company, but also 2 field labs and 1 company in a varying shape. So there are also, for example, the Stream project, a big maritime manufacturing project where RoboHouse and SumXL are collaborating together and looking at different aspects. So it's really for all the applicants to see where they want to use the expertise, and also a collaboration is very well possible. So that is up to you. I wanted to add that as a clarification.
So there is flexibility in how you want to work with both RoboHouse and SumXL. It could be one, could be the other, it could be both. Thanks for adding this, Joris. And yeah, I think this is really a great opportunity if you are working on, say, robotics for offshore wind, whether this is in transport, installation, maintenance, or manufacturing. I think this is a great opportunity to work with the top experts in the field in these field labs. So again, with that, I would like to leave you with the call to contact us via this email address, or go to our website that's in the chat. And wish you all good luck with filling out the project ID forms. Thank you very much, and good morning. And